Hi, it's John at Brotherton-accountscom. Today I'm just going to do a quick video on bankrolls within XERO. I have done a longer video for all of the bank, which is probably about 50 minutes. So if you have a search for that, and I've tried to bullet point that so you can sort of go to the bit that you want to look at. So you know, if you don't want to watch it all the way through. But I just thought I'd do a quick video on bankrolls, because we tend to find when people realise bankrolls are available, they can sometimes get a bit carried away with them. What you've got to be careful of with bankrolls is that you don't actually start setting them up for everything. So as payments hit your bank, or receipt, usually when it's payments going out your bank, you know, people start setting bankrolls up, and not always, but you know, you can get a bit carried away. The time that you would want to set a bankroll up is if it's going to be a direct payment to a particular thing, say on the P&L, like bank charges or rates, and it's always for something that you're not going to get a bill for. So if you're going to get a receipt off your supplier for it, you would not set it up on a bankroll, because you know the payment as it hits your bank has got to go and clear the invoice, not post it to your P&L, so i.e. to bank charge, you know, to purchases or something similar, because you're already picking up your charge from your receipt that you've received from your creditor. So in those instances, the payment will go against the receipt to clear the creditor down. So hopefully that makes sense. If you start posting them as bank payments, you can have a double charge against that particular nominal, because you've got the receipt coming in, charge against your P&L, against your profits, then your payment comes in and you post it as a direct payment to that nominal again. You've double charged the charge against your profits, and you've still got an outstanding receipt. So the payment, if you've had a receipt off your customer, off your supplier, the payment will hit your bank feed, and then it's got to clear that creditor, not go against the charge again, because you've already picked up your charge on your back on your supplier receipt. Hopefully that makes sense. I mean, you can call the office if you want more clarity on that, and I can try and explain it a little bit better. But in reality here, if we go to our bank feed, what we're saying is we only post a bank roll against a nominal on the P&L if we're not going to get a receipt for it. So that's what you've got to bear in mind when you're creating your bank rolls. So this is just a demo bank feed, so we haven't got any bank charges really on here. So I'm just going to use this Cooper Street Bakery. If we just imagine that this is bank charges, we've got two there. We've got £15.75 and £11.90. Now we're not going to get a receipt for these if they're bank charges, so we can just set these up on a bankroll. So the way we would do it, we would click on this little option here, and then it allows you to create a bankroll. So if we go bankroll, bearing in mind we're not going to get a receipt for these, and you can have as many conditions as you want to, but really we only need probably one in most cases. The time you would have more than one is if there's a conflict, if you've got quite a few sets of rules and you conflict into, which hopefully will make sense in a minute. So if we, this is my preference, so this is how I would suggest you do it. Instead of having a particular parameter on your bank feed, saying, so in this instance we're saying the payee equals that. Now sometimes there might be a date in there or something like that, so if you leave it as equals, it'll never pick it up again. So this is my preference. You would go to here and change it to any text fields. So what we're saying is, as it hits your bank feed, what is ever on the bank feed, i.e. on the bank statement, if any text field, which includes anything in the payee bit, the descriptions bit, the amount, the reference, analysis code, if any text field on your bank statements, not equals, contains, and then what I would do is sometimes drill it back. So if we say, you know, drill it back, I mean, you certainly need to take dates out and things like that if anything includes dates, because if you leave it as with a date in, it'll never pick it up again, because it'll be a different date the next time. So every time you post something to the bank on XERO, you have to give it a contact. So we could call this, I mean, I know we're pretending that this is a bank charge. So we'll putting it to our to NatWest supplier. Here we've got two options. We could, if you've got something that is a certain amount, for say you've got £100 and £50 is accountancy and £50 is insurance, you could put, I want £50 to go to insurance and then the rest to go to accountancy. But very often, a lot of our clients, we tell them that you probably don't need this bit, because you very often a payment you don't need to split it like that. So you just go to this box down here. So it's the remainder, and the remainder of 100% is 100%. So you could just ignore that top box where you're adding, say, £20 for this, and then £80. The rest of it goes here. In most cases, you can ignore that bit. So we can just say bank fees to our nominal bank fees. That's just your description. There's your bank fees, and we want 100%. We're not putting anything in here. We want 100% of the remainder. So 100% of 100% is 100% to go to bank fees, and then we're going to call it bank fees as a raw description. So just to recap, we're saying if anything hits your bank feed on the bank statements, if any text field on the bank statements contains the words Cooper Street, we want to post it to a contact, NatWest, and that could be anything really, but obviously you attach it to the closest thing you can. So NatWest with a description, bank fees. We've got no set parameters where we want a set amount going to a certain place, so we're putting all of it to bank fees with a description to the nominal bank fees with no VAT, and it's 100%, and then we're going to call the raw bank fees. So if we do that now, when we go back to our bankroll, our direct our bank feed, it's giving us this now, look. So it's basically saying, oh, we can see that you've set up a bankroll, so we don't have to apply. We can edit the raw, we can view the raw, or we can just ignore it and go and do a find and match and allocate it to something else. So it's still giving us the option, is it what what you want to do. And you go, yes it is, so we can go okay, and then the next one, it's done it again, look. So it just speeds everything up, so we can go okay, and so those are posted now to bank fees. Okay, hopefully that's been helpful. I mean, I've done, like I say, I've done other videos which will help people, and there's some longer videos on that, but I just thought that might be useful, just as a quick recap, and more importantly, when you should be using them. Okay, hopefully, like I say, that's been useful, and hopefully see you next time. Thanks, bye.